Hello everybody, and welcome to the Game Master tutorial. My name is Christopher Molino. I am the creator of Hero's Tale. A Game Master is an interactive storyteller and a world builder, pretty much one and the same. So what I mean by that is a world builder is somebody who will make names or characters, items, environments, cities, all sorts of things, and it really is self-explanatory in the title, world builder. You build the world. And then you're an interactive storyteller. So you're making the story, however you have heroes that are interacting with the story. So it's not just a static story that I've created and it's linear and this is what's going to be predetermined and happen. Anything can happen at any point in time, so that's what the dice are for. So when we're making and designing worlds for this interactive story as a game master, we mainly want to be focused on just making interesting characters, interesting environments, interesting traps maybe, just making the world very interesting, because the world itself is going to dictate how good your story is. The interesting characters that you have are going to dictate how fun the environment is. Some of the tools that you might find helpful to yourselves as a game master that don't come right out of the box of Hero's Tale would be 10-sided dice, which are great for keeping track of the NPC's healths. It's awesome because you don't have to constantly be writing down their health, and everybody can see on the table what the health is. It's awesome. You can find them online at comic book stores. You can pretty much find them at those locations really easily. So it's not difficult at all to be a game master. I know in a lot of role-playing games people freak out and say, I don't want to be the game master at all because there's a book that they have to read in order to actually be a game master. And the rules of this game are really simple, so you can read them in maybe like 15 minutes, or look at the tutorials online, and you have a really solid understanding of the game itself, and you can jump into being a game master itself right there and then. The only limitation you have about being a game master is how creative your mind is. When you're role-playing as a game master, there can be a lot of different styles of roleplay, but the first main two that we're going to cover is first person and third person role-playing. So first person would be being the character itself, becoming the character. And as an example, I'm playing an old man and you kids need to get off my lawn, or something like that is first person, when I'm actually pretending to be the character. And those can be great because you can have very immersive interactions. They can get really fun, and it really adds a whole new life to the campaign itself. And a lot of people can't and don't think that when you're doing third-person role-playing that it's a bad thing, because some people will do third-person role-playing and say, this character does this action. Bob goes out and he wants to find something. Bob's searching. Bob wants to talk to you about something. I use third-person role-playing for when I'm role-playing as a female character, because I can't really role-play and get into the mindset of a female character. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Other people might feel comfortable doing that, and I'm sure there's plenty of people who are comfortable with role-playing all sorts of different characters, but it's really, the main question is, what is your comfort level with the people around you when you're doing that? And how comfortable do you feel when you're role-playing certain characters? So don't ever think that third person is a bad way of role-playing, because I've used it plenty of times, and it gets the job done, and it works fantastic. So when you're starting out as a game master, it doesn't require a lot of preparation like everybody thinks. You just need to make that one first encounter, and then you really grow from there. Working simple and easy is very very good because you don't know what's going to happen during those encounters. Since this is an interactive story, you can only really plan so much, and then the heroes are going to do whatever it is that they want to do. You can't control their actions. You can only build the world around them and kind of anticipate where they might go and figure out what might be behind door number 10. So you'll be surprised, you'll be very surprised of how naturally everything comes to you and how everything just kind of flows once you start playing and sit in the chair of the game master. It actually becomes very easy. So, yeah. Okay, when you're starting your first encounter, it's important to take into consideration the backstories of all the different heroes. So every hero is going to come up with their own unique backstory, whether they're an orphan, whether they're on the run from the Eastern Empire, or they're a bounty hunter. It can vary greatly, but you're bringing these heroes, and these heroes are going on a journey together for a specific reason. So you could have their backstories and be family members, they could be friends, that their characters already know one another, as opposed to if you have a group of people, a group of players that their characters don't know each other at all. The best way to actually get them to become friends is put them in a near-death situation. Nothing says be my friend like I need to save someone's life or you just saved my life. So that really gets people banding together very easily. So your first encounter is what I call like the call to action. The heroes are called to action because they're all either prisoners, the town is under attack and they have to help each other get out of here, because if not they all die, and well, nobody wants that. So that's a great way to forge the relationships. It is very important to be detail oriented when you're describing the environment to heroes as soon as they enter it. So let's say, example, the toxic swamp. Say the toxic swamp is in the way of the heroes right now, and they're going to want to know how to cross the swamp, whether they use swimming to swim across it, or they find large branches that are overhanging the swamp and they can climb across it. Because some characters are good at climbing and some don't even know how to swim. So it's really important for you as a game master to explain the area as they enter new environment cards, what the area is like, so they know A, what obstacles are there, and B, how can they use their abilities to overcome these obstacles. So that's pretty much what is really important to that. Okay, so when I'm preparing for an encounter, first off I need to answer a few questions, whether it's going to be a small scale encounter or a large boss fight. If it's a large boss fight, then I might want to put an additional amount of planning before I set this event in motion. Be it I could find riddles, puzzles, different things that would intellectually challenge the heroes, as well as not just like combat fighting in general. So you can do all sorts of things to make those boss fights as intricate as you want, make those encounters as difficult as you want, but keep in mind you don't want to make it 24/7 really difficult for all the heroes, because if it's too difficult for all the heroes, then it becomes, well, you have heroes that will die frequently, and some people might like that in campaigns, but some people can get tired of that really quickly if you're just there to kill all the different heroes. So keep in mind, you want to make it difficult, but you don't want to constantly be killing everybody, because people will think your game is very unbeatable and your expectations are too high. Keeping it simple is best to make it so that they can come up with more creative ways to solve those problems, as opposed to just having a really hard problem with one way of solving it. First off, what a campaign is all the encounters you do, all the different fighting and the combat and the story that you guys take place. That's essentially a campaign, because I know some of you might not be familiar with the term. The difference between a short campaign and a long campaign is a short campaign is just maybe a couple days long. Every night you guys meet up, your friends or your family members, and play a little bit, and it only lasts maybe 4 days the most, I'd say. A longer campaign is setting up a story for like a month long or even longer than that. And the reasons why you would set that up is because people grow attached to their characters, and people just love having you game master their games. So they want to continue that story, and there's very easy ways that we're going to be covering in our next tutorial of how to make an extended and a much longer campaign. But right now, Hero's Tale was built more for shorter campaigns, so you can get the game going quickly, so you guys can be leveling up fast, and you don't have to really mess around with anything long and drawn out. It's meant to be simple and easy to be picked up and played real quick. Yeah, so when it comes to altering the cards themselves, I'd say be careful. When you make a card stronger, understand that you're going to have to put an additional level to that creature as you make that creature stronger. Because if you make a creature stronger and don't adjust its level to meet the equal amount of strength that it is, then it's going to be too powerful of an encounter that you're going to come across. Same goes if you're going to make a weaker creature, if you're going to make him really weak and maybe he enters the battle like hurt or injured, you understand that you can put a lower level on that creature because that creature is injured. But those are all important factors to understand, and you can alter and make your own types of cards if you want. Normally, if there's an item or a quest item that my heroes want to use or they have and I made up that item on the spot, I'll put a face down Hero's Tale card in their inventory and say that's the prototype, and they'll write it down in their notes as that item being Staff of Craziness. So Staff of Craziness could do anything. You roll a d20 and 1 through 20, whatever happens, happens. So I just made that item right on the spot, and you can make plenty of different items that you want, or you can just use the Staff of Craziness. So when you're playing a Game Master, you're not necessarily playing to win, you're playing to make this amazing story, make this amazing world, and have fun with the heroes and really interact with the heroes. And it's really all about having a really fun role-playing experience than just winning the match or winning the fight itself. You'll be finding that your creatures are going to get stomped on a lot by the heroes, and that's something you just kind of have to accept. But you know, you don't want to be killing the heroes off 24/7 once again, because that just won't be fun for everybody. You want to make it challenging and want people to come up to you later and be like, man, that fight was awesome, that was really intense, you did a great job. And that's what really is really rewarding when you're playing a Game Master, is you get those pats on the back and people say how awesome and how much of fun they had playing with you in your game. So if you have any more questions about gameplay tactics, setting up a campaign, or you're having a problem with an item that you can't figure out how to balance it out quite properly, feel free to come and contact us on the forums, and the whole community will be glad to help you out.